In an age where data lives on the cloud, messages are encrypted, and footprints are virtual, the new income tax bill of 2025 brings the law up to the speed of new digital world. Hello friends, welcome to your lordships. Today we are going to discuss the digital search and seizure under the new income tax bill of 2025. Clause 247 of the new income tax bill has sparked a debate as to whether it enables the government functionaries to fight tax evasion, or is it a constitutional overreach which impinges upon the fundamental right to privacy of its citizens. Let us discuss the background of this new income tax bill of 2025. Why was it brought? So the government has introduced this new income tax bill of 2025, which aims to replace the earlier Income Tax Act of 1961, which came into effect on 1962. The act seemed ill-equipped in emerging digital economy. So the new bill, in order to facilitate the era of new digital world, aims to simplify the tax procedures. It modernizes the new procedures, it removes the outdated references, and also it addresses the digital assets and virtual spaces. The Act goes on to bring within its ambit virtual digital spaces. So that is a remarkable achievement for this Act. What is digital search and seizure that we are now required to see? Clause 247 of this new bill allows the tax authorities to search any digital space or a computer system. Under this new bill, when any search or seizure is conducted into any digital space, this search or seizure is basically triggered when such digital space is suspected of storing any incriminating evidence. And further, the clause 261, subclause E of the new bill defines the computer system. What do we mean by computer system? It will include cloud storage, it will include emails, chats, messaging platforms, it will include social media accounts. It will also include any other virtual digital space like blockchain, cryptocurrency, wallets, and so on. So now the question arises whether the new scope that has been created, in which the income tax authorities will able to assess this digital space, is it something which is created afresh by the provisions of the new income tax bill? So obviously this answer would be no. This power was already existent under the previous regime, the current regime. Under section 132 of the Income Tax Act, it establishes original search and seizure power of the income tax authorities. Similarly, we have the Finance Act of 2001, which empowers the authorities to analyze the e-records. Similarly, we have Finance Act of 2002, which allows access to electronic devices. And in that, we have also the provision of section 275B, which provides punishment for refusal to cooperate. So the 2025 bill simply makes explicit what was already there, what was already implicit. The concerns and the debate which has emerged in the new bill, particularly granting the provisions of digital search and seizure, is that it impinges on the right to privacy of the citizens under Article 21 of the Constitution. So digital search and allowing intrusion into the private communication in order to extract certain data, professional communications, So whether it should be permissible in the new regime of right to privacy is the prevalent question which needs to be answered. Especially concerning is the issue in post-Puttaswamy judgment scenario, wherein in 2017, the Supreme Court passed the landmark judgment upholding right to privacy of the individuals. Right to privacy was accordingly recognized to be protected under Article 21 of the Constitution, and in a case where such infringement on right to privacy is contemplated, it has to pass the triple test which has been laid down in the judgment. This is also known as the threefold proportionality test. Firstly, there must be a legal action which impinges upon the right to privacy of an individual, meaning thereby there must be legality. Action must be backed by some law. Secondly, there must be necessity of infringing upon privacy of an individual. There must be a legitimate state aim behind accessing certain records, behind intruding into the privacy of an individual. And lastly, there must be proportionality. Proportionality meaning thereby, whenever any intrusion into the privacy of an individual is made, such intrusion must be of the least character. Only what would be required, only up to such extent or such proportionate extent, an intrusion should be permissible by the law. So this was the threefold proportionality test laid down in the Puttaswamy judgment. Supreme Court's stand on search and seizure has also been reflected by various other judgments, like the judgment of Puran Mal versus Director of Inspection. In this case, the constitutionality of search and seizure was upheld by the Supreme Court. These search and seizures, which are done by the tax officials under the prevalent tax laws, is duly constitutional, and held that the tax evasion justifies the exercise of such power of search and seizure. Similarly, we have the Mandalia case of 2022, wherein the Supreme Court applied the Wednesbury principles, wherein the courts defer to administrative wisdom unless the action is irrational. So, accordingly, such search and seizure is validated. Digital access in investigation is accordingly permissible as per the Mandalia case as well. Now, when we talk about the legality of the new provision in clause 247 of the Income Tax Bill, whether it is justified or not has to be seen in the context whether proper safeguards are also mentioned in clause 247 or not. So for that, we can say that clause 247 is not arbitrary in its entirety. It contains multiple procedural safeguards. Firstly, there has to be recorded reasons. The authority conducting such search and seizure into the digital space of an individual must document some justification, document the recorded reason for such intrusion into the digital space. Prior approval would be required from the sanctioning authority. Then we have also the provisions of judicial review after such search and seizure is done. So whatever action would be taken, it would be subject to the review done by the courts. And lastly, justification has to be there. The authority must justify the action if it is challenged in a court of law. So, in entirety, we can say the clause 247 of the new bill does not disregards certain procedural checks which are there, and it respects the Puttaswamy proportionality test. Okay. The Parliament Select Committee also gave its finding upon clause 247 of the new bill, which reviewed every clause in detail of the bill and retained the clause 247 after due scrutiny. It recognized the presence of such provision as an essential to counter tech-driven tax evasion. So this provision aims to ensure enforcement, and obviously it provides certain safeguards. Only after duly recorded reason such intrusion is to be made. Now the question arises as to why such digital powers are necessary. So for that, we already understand that tax evasion in this new digital world has obviously transgressed some different boundaries. There are new modern tax evasion techniques by use of encrypted communications, cloud storage, blockchain technologies, AI-driven things. So the traditional search and seizure methods have proven to be ineffective in order to handle the new emerging technologies. So clause 247 accordingly ensures speedy recovery of evidence and obviously deterrence against such new methods by which tax evasion is done. And obviously there is balancing of interest between the state and individuals which have been kept in mind. The bill makes a fine line between empowering the tax authorities to effectively curb tax evasion and on the other hand also to protect the citizens on their genuine concerns of privacy and constitutional rights, which is accordingly protected under Article 21 of the Constitution. With due process and oversight, the law has taken the turn and the risk of overreach is minimal. So to conclude, we can say that surveillance, whether it is justifiable, whether it's sensible reform, or is it constitutional overreach, you can comment in the section and accordingly post your views. It's according to us not an overreach. In the new emerging trends of digital tax evasion, it seeks to address the new challenges that have been faced by the digital economy. It is continuation of the powers. Obviously, in the previous regime, in the existing regime, there are still the powers under which the tax officials would be authorized to conduct such kind of search and seizure. It is continuation of the established powers updated for the digital era. It provides also the robust safeguards backed by the judicial precedents, and obviously the citizen will have the option of judicial review. Real test lies in the enforcement in the spirit and not just the text. Meanwhile, there is an important announcement. We are running Uttarakhand Judiciary 2025 crash course, wherein all the subjects, including the general knowledge, current events, and international affairs, will be dealt. We'll also launch 10 days rapid revision test series, which will start on 1st of August 2025. So all the students who are appearing in Uttarakhand Judicial Services exam, for them, it is a golden opportunity to grab a service in judiciary. And if the particular aspirant is obviously later on getting behind the mandatory 3-year practice rule, this would be a golden opportunity that before the mandatory rule kicks in, he should avail the opportunity of appearing in the Uttarakhand Judiciary exam, enrolling in our course and fast-tracking their preparation to the Judicial Services exam. So lastly, we are left with the question that whether the digital evidence is the new frontier of law enforcement. With the right balance that is there between empowerment and checks, can India lead the way in modern tax regulation? So that is the question for our viewers to answer. Do like, share and subscribe our channel. do follow our channel and comment your views. So that's all. Thanks a lot.